Well, this just what is this? It's just nothing being everything. It can never be known. It can never be understood. It can never be gotten because there's no separation. It's already whole and complete. And there is already nothing to do about what's just happening. There is already no one here who's even listening to what is being spoken. There can be a listening happening and talking happening. It's already empty. There's no one behind talking. There's no one behind listening. It's just this as pressing as that. Yet it may seem to be going somewhere, but it's never really going anywhere. The going somewhere is just this appearing as that. What seems to be the movement, what seems to be the journey, is just already that which is journeyless, appearing as a journey. So all there is this. Whatever that seems to be happening, cats moving around, watching, thinking, the room, air conditioning, bodily sensation, being uncomfortable, being comfortable, the sense of being separate from everything. It's just what appears to happen, but there's no one behind it. There's no one behind anything. There is already no finder, and there's nothing to be found. There's just this. This is already whole and complete. This is already everything. Even thinking that there's something to get, it's just that which can never be gotten, appearing to think that there's something to get. There's no one doing thinking. There's no thinker of thoughts. There's just thinking happening, which is already that which is not thinking, appearing as thinking. And there's nothing to do about this. There's nothing to be done already. There's nobody to do anything. There's just this. And this, what is already unknowable. What seems to be the knower is already that which can never be known, appearing as a knower. There's no real knower here to know anything, to get anything, or to become anything. There's just a knowing, expressing as everything, or as every apparent thing, because there are no things, there are no real things. So there's already no wrong or right here. Anything may arise, any sensation, any thinking, it may seem to arise, but it's never going anywhere. There's never really anywhere to get to, and there's no one to get to anyway. There's just what is, expressing. It's just this empty fullness expressing itself. So there is already no dawn here. There's already no fate. There's already no Alice. There's already no Nkosi. There's just what is. There's just wholeness. There's just completeness expressing. And it's beautiful for nobody. If the question seems to arise, it's just already that which is whole and complete. Asking the question. If an answer is being given, it's just that which is already whole and complete, appearing to give an answer. But there is no real separate somebody who's actually asking a question or who's actually giving an answer. It's just that which is already whole and complete, appearing to ask a question, appearing to give an answer. That as it is already in person. It's not personal. There's no one doing the questioning. There's no one doing the answering. It's just what appears to happen. And it doesn't mean anything. This is neither meaningful nor meaningless. It's just what is. It's just neutral. So you are not already. There's no one here who's doing anything, who's listening, who's talking, who's analyzing, who's trying to get to somewhere. There's just what is this, which is already nameless, formless, and empty, appearing as a form, appearing as names. And it's not appearing to somebody or somebody. I would say it's appearing to itself because there's nobody here already. There's no we, there's no I, there's just this. And this isn't going anywhere. Even what appears to be a future is just this appearing as a future. Even what appears to be the past is just this appearing as a past, appearing as today. There's no real future, there's no real past, there's no real today. It's just this already. And this is deathless. There's nobody who's alive already. So therefore, there's nobody to die. This is beyond death and birth. This is already everything. This is already nothing. It can never really be pointed at because there's no separation. It's just what is. It's just every apparent thing. There's no pointing to it. There's no getting it because there's just it. And the dream may seem to happen that may seem to happen in it that there may be somebody who's searching, looking for it. It's just a dream. There's no real somebody who's actually looking, who's searching. It's just it's already appearing as somebody who's looking, searching. That sense of being separate from everything is already unreal. In a sense that there's no real separate self. There's just that which is already whole and complete, also expressing as what seems to be a separate self. So this can never be known. This is just what is. It is empty. It is no thing already. No thing can never really be pointed at. You can't say what this is. Nobody can say what this is. It's beyond words, yet it appears as words. Words can be used here to describe that which can never really be described. Words are seen as just concepts. Even saying it's totality, it's what is, it's everything, doesn't mean anything. This is already what it is, with or without words. Yet words themselves are just also this. So there's no separation. So if there are any questions or any sharing that may seem to arise on this, then it's okay. So there is no one who's doing anything. There's no one who's speaking, but speaking happens. In the same way that the heart beats is not being done by anybody. It just happens. It's just what seems to be happening. The blinking, no one is doing it already. It's just what seems to be happening. So no one is doing thinking already. It's just thinking happening. Even the movement is just empty. There's no one behind any movement. It's just already what is, appearing to move, appearing to think. Heart beats, bodily sensations, just simply happening. They're not being done by anybody. So the doer is already unreal, is already not there. There's no doer. Things are just as they are, but there's no doer. The doer is already unreal. Uh, Alice,
Yes.
how is your cat doing?
I had put her on a diet about 6 months ago, and she's lost 3 pounds. Um, so she needed it, and she needs to do 3 more pounds. She didn't like me much at first, but getting over it.
Yeah.
How is your son doing, Nkosi?
He's okay. He's okay. He's uh, still trying to walk. Yeah.
Is he trying to walk now?
Yeah,
Okay.
grabbing things, moving around, trying to
Yes.
stand up. He's able to stand up, but he can barely walk.
Uh, he'll be
Yeah.
walking in a couple of weeks.
Sorry?
He'll be walking in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you get to see him very often?
Yeah, twice a month. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Just go and visit. Yeah.
Or, so what do you do? Stay a day or two?
Now, just I'll be there a couple of hours and then
Oh, wow.
I'll go
Do you miss
back.
do you miss him sometimes?
Uh, yeah, it does arise. Does
Yeah.
arise. Then I'll make a call just to check on him. How is
uh,
he doing?
That's kind of sweet to say. It arises sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's just life seems to unfold. Things seem to unfold effortlessly. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not registered as being done by somebody. It's just what happens. Yeah.
I think my biggest block I have is I still think somebody's doing it. I still think there's somebody here that's doing something. And I have had glimpses where that's fallen away at the time. But mostly I live in the place where I think I'm doing something and you're doing something. And it would be
Yeah.
so freeing to give that
Okay,
or
go
to
ahead.
have that fall away. I just said it would be so freeing to have that really fall away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even that, even when there's a thinking that you are doing it, it's you who's doing it. It's not wrong or right. You know, it's not an evidence that there's a real somebody there. There's just nobody there. There can be thoughts freely appearing, saying, oh, I'm doing it, but there's no one already there. So it's just this expressing as thoughts, saying, I'm doing it, I'm walking, I'm going to the shop, or they are bothering me. You know, it's just freely happening. It's not being done by anybody. That as well may seem to stop. You know, even in the midst of it being there, there's already nobody there. There's nobody to be free already. There's just freedom, expressing as everything. The story is beautiful. It's not wrong or right. It's just what happens. It's not personal. It's already impersonal.
There was some time ago when I was interested in Byron Katie, and she would always, at the beginning, she'd always talk about herself in the second person or in the third person. But she would always refer to herself as a she. She went to the grocery store. She got groceries. Uh, Tomorrow it appears I don't know. I mean, it's like she'd always say she and instead of I. That was kind of interesting. So I could tell you that today she went to the grocery store. She worked this morning. She, it sounds, she worked this morning. She's on a Zoom call tonight. Uh, Actually, that feels kind of good. It does feel more disconnected than saying I.
Yeah, it's even saying I is just a reaction. Reaction after reaction is just already empty. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
This can say, I'm here uh, talking. It's just a reaction. It doesn't mean that there's a real somebody who's here. It's just a reaction. That's
Could you
as well
explain
may say.
what you mean by it's just a reaction?
It's just an empty reaction. It's just this expressing as that. It's already empty. There's nobody there who's actually talking. The body is already empty. This is already empty fullness. There's no
Or
one behind anything.
when I say I, there seems like a whole denseness that arises, like there's something really behind that I. So when you say it's just a reaction, it's like that would be kind of nice to really absorb into my soul. Hmm,
Yeah,
just a reaction.
yeah. Just everything or every apparent thing is already empty. There's no one behind anything. There's no one behind listening. There's no listener behind listening. There's no one behind talking. There's just talking happening. I would say there's talking, but not talking. There's walking, but not walking. There's speaking, but not speaking. There's waiting, but not waiting. Yeah,
Yeah, I get a glimpse of what you're saying.
this isn't talking, yet it appears to talk. This isn't moving, yet it appears to move. This isn't thinking, yet it appears to think. So it's empty and full. And there's no one to get it because there's just it already. You can't get it because you are it already. There's nothing separate from it to get it. There's just it. There's just this. No one can point to it. because there's no separation. It's already whole. It's totality. Even what seems to be the one pointing to it is already it. The pointer, the pointing, and what is being pointed at is just this. So there is no pointer, there's no pointing, and there's nothing that is being pointed at. There's just this. It's already whole and complete. There's no separation. There are no different parts already. There's just simply everything. There's no dividing line. There is no separation. So if a question seems to arise, it's just already that which is already whole and complete. Asking a question, appearing to give an answer. Yeah. But there's no real question, there's no real answer, because it's just this already. There's really nowhere to get to. There's really nobody to get to anyway. There's just already this.
It seems like there should be a middleman somewhere. I really hear your I mean, your truth. I hear that you're absolutely speaking the truth. I can feel it. I can resonate with it. But still, my mind is active and doesn't really understand sometimes when you say there's no separation. I can only understand it intellectually. But there's no way else you can say it except stay with the truth like you are. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To anybody? And it seems like I'm asking you to be less honest by saying I wish there was a middleman. But it almost feels that way to kind of join the two worlds.
Yeah, this doesn't say the other, because there's no other. Yeah, there's no other.
There's only the one, huh?
Yeah. Even that which seems to be speaking right now is already just this. It's already that which is whole and complete.
Yes.
There's no one separate from this already. So talking right now that seems to be happening is the same as heartbeats. You know, heartbeats is just there. It's just there. No one is doing it. So in the same way, that which seems to be talking, there's no one doing the talking. There's just talking, which is already empty. There's no one who's separate from everything already. There's no separation. Thinking that there is separation is just that which is already not separate, appearing to think or appearing as thinking. Thinking itself is empty. There's no one doing thinking. It's just an empty appearance. There's no one looking from behind those eyes already. There is no experiencer of just what's happening. This isn't happening to you. There's no you already. There's just this. And this isn't a thing. And this isn't happening already. It's not a thing. Yet it's every apparent thing. It can never be understood by the apparent mind because it doesn't exist. There's no mind already. There's no you already. There's just everything. Bad and that is just a story. This is beyond death and death. Yet it appears as death and death. It is remembering and forgetting and beyond. It is already everything, yet it's nothing.
Changing the word everything to God, using that as the word,
Yes.
and there's no you, there's only God, only this. Does God experience the does God experience whatever it is you're speaking about?
Yeah, there's just God. There's no one speaking about anything. Just God speaking, God asking a question, God expressing as bodily sensations, God appearing as the sense of being separate from everything, or as a sense of being separate from God. God
so
is
this
everything.
so this is God here now expressing as this.
Yeah. There's only God. There's nothing else. Even saying nothing else is already God. God is you, and you are God.
Don, I just have to say I really appreciate you and your questions, and I haven't ever heard anybody say the same question so many different ways as you do. And and I keep wondering now, how's it going to look tonight? But here it comes anyway. We're going to get this figured out yet, aren't we, Don?
That's my goal. That's my goal.
Gotta love you.
It's God's goal.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, God is everything.
What's that?
God is nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing or no thing.
Nothing.
No thing, not separate.
Not separate.
Right. So everything is God. So everything is glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There we go, Alice. We got the answer, Alice.
Okay. Well, I think I hear Nkosi say it all the time. Everything is beautiful, and no matter what, everything is beautiful. And I'm not making fun of that. I think I've thought about that a lot, and everything has got to be beautiful if you see it with your eyes, or the eyes see it with that truth.
Yeah,
Yes.
everything is
So
okay. Go,
I'm
go, go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just I work part-time, but I was told today there was a young man I work with. He was only 20 years old, but he was killed in a car crash this weekend. And I felt sad, and it's like unbelievable that that would happen to him. Um, but I didn't feel like I used to at one time feel and cry and all of that. That just didn't come up. Uh, but because I have a entirely different feeling about death than I used to, and because I know, you know, you can't die. You really can't die. It took on a whole different meaning for me in a sense. Not that I didn't feel sad about him passing and that he did, but just knowing something else was going on really. Well, the understanding I had is that in this world, anything can happen, and this is just what happened. And
Yeah.
and I hate to say this, it seems so, but in a way, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Condolences to his family. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, I would do that.
Yeah. Nothing ever happens. It's just the boat is just an appearance in this,
Yes,
and there is already no one who's living life. It's just life.
yes,
So life can never die. Life is deathless. Life is eternal. So when the body drops, life recognizes itself as everything. And it also recognizes itself that it has never been a body. And there can be that expansion happening from that narrow view to become that expanded view. To recognize that there were no others. There was no one who was living life, and there were no others. Everything has always been this, which is beyond death and birth.
Yeah.
So nobody dies because no one is living.
And I would say also, hi guys, I dropped in a little bit late. I planned on
Hi.
coming on time, but I had family stuff. But yeah, I would say that this may appear as somebody crying over hearing about somebody dying in a car crash. You know, I may hear that somebody got in a car crash and died, and I may cry. I may feel sad for the family, for the individual, for the apparent individual. There's not somebody that's already advanced spiritually, you could say, that's above crying and feeling sad. Sadness may arise. You know, I lost my father-in-law recently and I cried. I was sad. Just because there's an understanding of this, an apparent understanding, there's already nobody that understands anything that's above crying and sadness. Sadness is also just this.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, crying, as MOS said, may seem to happen. Sadness may seem to happen, but it's not being done by anybody. There can be those emotions, appearing in this, but they come and go. They come and go.
Is the
There's not.
sadness, go
Yes.
ahead. Oh,
Go
is the
ahead.
sadness, okay, is the sadness and crying God being sad and crying?
Everything is God.
So sadness and crying at the death of another is, how do I say this? It's not just arising like, well, it's just arising, like it's nothing. It's really everything, grieving, everything.
Yeah, it's already everything. There's no dividing line. There's no separation. Prisoners in prison is justice expressing. Somebody stepping, somebody stabbing somebody. It's just this already expressing. There is no separation.
But I could see myself, hugging his mother and, just feeling this sadness and feeling just feeling the sadness and being with her for a couple of moments and maybe even having tears at her own, that I would feel. It's it 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 is sometimes easy to get into another person's space when this type of thing happens. And I think that's a very loving thing to do. It's like kind of joining them in their grief. for just for that moment of being with them, because their intensity that they feel. I don't know if that makes any sense or why I would say it here, but I just had a moment of realizing that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to
beautiful.
see her be cold toward her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, life takes care of life in a way. You know, in the story, which is this already, that may seem to be expressed as well. Somebody trying to send condolences to the family that is grieving for their loved one. You know, that may seem to happen as well. You know,
Mhm.
everything is just freely happening. There's no wrong or right. It's not wrong to be in love with somebody. It's not wrong to express, you know, your feelings, to share something, to, you know, it's just already this doing it. So it's beautiful. It's okay. It's okay.
So,
Well,
so
and
you said,
some,
go ahead,
I'm
Amar.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
Okay,
go ahead.
yeah. Well, somebody may look at the mother and say, screw you and your feelings. And that seems evil, right? But that's just this. I mean, somebody may hug her and give her a hug and a kiss and say, I'm so sorry for your loss. And somebody may look at her and say, I don't care. But there's no right or wrong. It's just simply what appears to arise. There's already nobody doing anything. So as beautiful as it sounds to hug the mother and say, I'm so sorry, it could be the other way around.
Yeah.
It's
Something may
just
seem to
simply,
say you deserve it. You know, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Amo. It's beautiful. Don, you wanted to say something?
Who,
Well,
John?
I did, but now I sort of lost it after Amor's share.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I I just where my mind went is that I'm into God big time. And
Oh,
uh I'm going to separate things out. God would not, this is opinion going in this in the mind direction. God would love that mother who lost her son, and be and God would be with, God would not say it should anything but. Well, God wouldn't say anything. God would just be. So I guess so that's what I'm going to say. So God would just be. So God can't say no, he should have died, or God wouldn't say, oh, he shouldn't have died. God would just be with that person.
There was already nobody who died. Who died? What is God, Don? What does God look like?
Well, everything, or that's what Nkosi said, if I'm interpreting Nkosi correctly.
So so what
Good.
is everything might appear as love, it might appear as hate, it might appear as anything. In order to have love, there has to be hate. And there's really neither. I don't know how Nkosi would say it, but that's what it from this perspective, that's what I would say. There's neither. It just is and isn't simultaneously.
So is there anything deeper than love and hate?
Well, there's not even love and hate. So how could there be something deeper? Anything deeper would also just be and not be simultaneously.
Yeah, God doesn't mind. Yeah, its minding may seem to happen in a story, you know, but God doesn't mind. Anything may arise, you know, because God is not separate. There's no separation. Everything is this, in a sense that no one has ever done anything. No one has ever, there is no one here who's even doing anything. No one said anything. No one thinks anything. No one uh, is doing anything already. It's just God doing, not doing. Yeah. It's just this. You can call it whatever. It doesn't mind. Doesn't mind. You can say it's a donkey, it's a chicken. Doesn't mind.
I prefer calling
It
it
is what
donkey.
it is.
Hey, Faith. Faith, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I don't know. How's your friend doing?
You asking me, Alice, are you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. How your friend was doing. That was suicidal at one time, just recently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she still feels that way. I see her thinking pattern as a closed loop that goes round and round. And nothing I say will change that. It looks like sometimes she's going to understand what I say from a logical, rational point of view. But then she goes back into this circular pattern of thinking that comes, as I see it, comes from the emotional part of her. It just goes round and round, like we can relate to it. It's like being on that hamster wheel, and for her, there's no getting off that. So I can just be with her, and she'll have, I don't know. But like suicide, Cassie, suicide's just another appearance, no? Like I would have once been invested strongly in preventing her from considering that option, but not now.
Yeah, Thank you for sharing, Faith. Yeah, everything is just freely happening. You know, it's already empty. There's no one behind anything. The body is empty. You know, it's just this expressing. So it doesn't really matter. It's beautiful. It's not wrong or right. It's just what appears to happen. It may seem to go somewhere, or it may seem as if it's going somewhere, but it's never really going anywhere. It's just this expressing. So there's nobody here already to live or to die. There's just this. Nobody can do anything already. There's nobody to fall away. The sense of being separate from everything may seem to stop. There can be a recognition that, you know, the separate self never happened in the first place. It was just this expressing as that. So it's beautiful for nobody. Are there any last questions or comments before we close?
Hey, hey, Don, do you have a Facebook?
No.
I was looking for you after the last meeting I was on with you, and I couldn't find you.
Yeah,
So
I'm not on there.
That's probably
Yeah.
okay.
I was thinking, and Nkosi, we were quiet for a long time before we shared. And I don't know about anybody else, but I was kind of thinking, I have to say something along these lines or these lines. Then you come along and you finally break the silence by saying, "How's your cat?" And it just seems so ordinary and so nice to break the silence. I would have never thought to say, "How's your son?" at that time. Uh, I thought it had to be, along the spiritual lines, if I might choose. But I guess it's pretty spiritual about you asking me about my cat. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing is included, is it?
Yeah, there's no separation. There's no separation. And she seems to be in deep silence, I can see.
Yeah, she enjoyed the whole meeting, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
I recently did a chat with Michael Markham, one-on-one, and we didn't talk about anything that you might call spiritual. We talked about politics. We talked about dogs. We talked about our children, and nothing is excluded from this. It's all just whatever may arise. There's nothing happening already, and there was no talk of this. Very little. And I love Michael Markham. He's great. He's beautiful. And it was just a beautiful chat about nothing.
Beautiful.
well, in this past hour, this call, I got it, and then I lost it, and then I got it, and then I lost it many times. And as this call's coming to a close, I'll go do something. But at 7 o'clock, I have another call, and then maybe I'll get it. So how do you? I mean, how do you? And if I don't get it, then I'll wait till Wednesday for Michael's call, and I might get it then. So I'm not going to give up. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm going to get it.
Do
I'm
you
going
have
to get
another
it.
call? Do you have another call like this?
It's a Vedic knowledge call, so it's like non-dual from the
Oh,
Indian culture. Yeah, so it wouldn't
okay.
be like this, but
Yeah.
it's the same. They're speaking the same thing in a different way.
Right. Okay.
But I'm going to get it somewhere. I'm going to
Isn't
get it
that
somewhere, and
amazing?
it's going to stay. It's going to stay
Everybody's
24/7.
thinking about it in a different way. That's kind of what I'm thinking now tonight. Everybody's thinking about it in a different way. And I don't even
Well,
have to attend the meeting to know that, but I do attend meetings because I love them.
well, Don, maybe it'll come that the realization that there's nobody to get anything and there's nothing to get.
Maybe,
Maybe that'll come.
maybe, yeah,
And
I'm going for it.
Anyway,
not
that
good.
was a comment.
I'm not quitting. I'm going to get this Nkosi. And it's going to stay with me 24/7. Yes.
I didn't get it.
No,
I didn't get it. There's no one here who got it. It's just this.
well, that's okay. God, I hear that and it's so like, yeah. But then something happens. Love the calls.
Love the calls.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. Good night and good morning.
Thank you.